So the idea here is that each morning at 9 o'clock, we're going to have an inspirational thought for the day. And I'm calling it Guideposts because it is the way. So it's just pointing you off in a direction for your day. You don't have to take the guideposts that I give. You can have, obviously, you can have your own guideposts to move off if you don't like mine. But each morning at 9 o'clock, it just gives us an opportunity to share a few moments together, maybe 10-15 minutes each day. And for those who can't be here, to be able to catch up later. So I will say my very first good morning on Guideposts to Catherine. How are you this morning?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this, the start. I know it'll be quiet until it gets established, but I'm really looking forward to it.
And like I just said, you know, people can catch up later anyway. So if they can't be here, I know a lot of people have places to be at 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's a blessing to be able to share this with anyone who's able to tune in later. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to ask you for some help with that. But what I've got is a poem that I wrote on the 20th of November last year. And it's kind of like a challenge to say, wait a minute, who are you? What are you about? What you're capable of? And maybe you should be, and I should be doing something along those lines. So I'll read the poem and then we'll have a bit of a talk about it. And then anything else that comes up that we get led to say to each other becomes part of what this guidepost is. So it's called Earthen Pots, and it was written on the 20th of November last year. We have this treasure, this consciousness, this divine energy, this essence of God in these frail, feeble bodies. We have a capacity to love, a power our conditioning has veiled our eyes from, such potency to reveal through us and in us if we will open our hearts. The unconditional part has always known it, has always felt it. You have great power. If you will reveal your weakness, for when you are weak, then you are strong. The glory, your glory, is not in holding on, but in letting go, not in gathering, but sowing. The power, your power, is revealed not through the ego, but when you allow the ego to be cracked, so the divine light can shine through. Be love, let go, be real, be broken. Let your treasure, your power, your love be fully displayed. Don't let this world be shielded from your true essence. Open your heart, burst forth, let the avalanche begin. Be the outpouring of love. So that's my contribution for the day. Probably read it again at the end before we go back to whatever we were doing before we were broadcasting. And it was on my heart this morning that we feel so feeble, we feel so, what difference can we make in the world? It's only me, and I'm nobody, I'm nothing. And I just found this poem that I'd written all that time ago, and there's great power inside each one of us, but we have to be broken. The ego has to be broken so that the divine light can shine through. And then this is number one of the guideposts, but it's a snowball that we're setting rolling down the mountainside, and there will be eventually a great number of people sharing this in person live on a morning. if you build it, they will come. We keep quoting my favourite film when we talk. So yeah, we have got great power, and we mustn't ever forget it. We mustn't ever belittle ourselves because of the way that we've been conditioned into believing that we are just the little me, and we're not. We're the higher self in human form, and we can affect the destiny of our world. And really, for me, that's what the way is. The way is finding people who would like to be great, not pretend to be great, but people who recognize that within them there is greatness, and that it's probably going to cost them everything to display it, but they're going to display it anyway. So yeah, that's a good place to start, I thought, and I'd be interested to hear what thoughts you have on the subject matter.
Well, listening to it, the first thing that I got is it really reminded me of one of my choices. I won't go into what choices are, but it came out to as strength in vulnerability, and my choice was to show vulnerability, and in that lies our strength. It's the conditioning that we have to say that we shouldn't show the rawness of our experiences and of our feelings, but most times people, when they see that, they respond to it. They don't respond to it with look at that soft bugger sort of thing. They respond to it with compassion, and this is where our strength, I feel our strength is actually just showing that openness, that truth, that conditioning, exploring the conditioning that we have grown up with, and in that way we show it to the world, and we expose it, and we deal with it, and we let it go. So that's what I got from listening to that poem. It's like sort of the strength in vulnerability and the power in letting it go.
It is a challenging poem. I write a lot of poems. I've written over 3,000 in my life. They're not all inspirational ones, but sometimes you read a poem back, something that you've written back, and you think that was channeled, that wasn't me, that's come from somewhere, probably the higher self. It's come through me rather than from me, and I feel equally challenged by the poem as I would do if somebody else had written it. And that's when I feel that I've got something, that I've produced something, I've created something that is worthwhile. It's like, if somebody else had written that, Andrew, would you be impressed by it? Because I have a very critical mind. When it comes to reading other people's stuff, I think, but that, and a lot of my stuff as well, it's like, oh, it's drivel, Andrew, total drivel. But this is something that, I think when you surround yourself with the kind of books and audio books and conversations that I have with people, that's the kind of stuff that gets laid in your heart. That it was a meme that I'd seen where it said, "Are you a cracked pot?" Not a crackpot, a cracked pot.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And there's a little tea light inside it on the meme, and that's where the light shines through, where the cracks are. And I think that's it's so true. When you show your vulnerability, when you're willing to say, look, I'll be a fool for this, I'll stick my neck out, I'll put my head above the parapet and say, okay, the way isn't everything, but it's part of the everything, and it's part of the movement of humanity towards enlightenment. And that's where I want to be. And if that's where you want to be as well, maybe we can go that way together. So yeah,
I think that's beautiful, Andrew, and I feel that this like short morning, just something to reflect on, is going to be a really important part of it. And I appreciate the fact that you're here and you're doing it. And yeah, it might not be that you personally do it every day. Somebody might jump on and have something to say in future, but I appreciate the time and effort that you're doing now, because I do feel that it is an important part of what we're building.
It's groundbreaking, isn't it? It's making sure that there is continuity within what we're doing, because if there is something there every day, and I've been doing that with the blog, I've missed one day because we were away, and that's why I'm not going to be able to be here. I've put a note, didn't I, where I can't. The 11th, which is not tomorrow, the day after, and the 12th, maybe I won't be able to be here, but definitely the 14th and the 19th I can't be here. But it's still, if we can be systematic with anything, eventually it does gain weight by and gravity. That's what I mean. It sort of draws things to it. If it's there every day at 9 o'clock, then people know it's there, and even if they can't make it, they can watch the after the playback thing, and if they know it's there and they keep missing it and keep missing it and keep missing it, and yet it's, oh, I'll go and join in today. I'm around today. I can be there.
Yeah.
If there's something there for people to join in with, people tend to be social animals. They want to join in. So
right. I think the fact that it's not too long as well, it's something that people can just have a listen to at the end of the day if they've missed it, or like sort of, even if you want to listen to one or two, there might be an idea to just name it, like, yeah, just name each one. So yeah. Like sort of, this could be like whatever your poem's called, or spending vulnerability, or whatever the theme of it is, and then people might actually look and say, oh, that sounds interesting, I'll have a listen to that.
Yeah, because eventually there'll be a vast resource there for people to just dip into, say, oh, that one sounds, like you said, that one sounds interesting, we'll go and have a look at that now. But it's just in my heart. I mean, it was what Karen said to me when she first said, I think, you should come and have a chat with us about the way. It was, I see you bringing inspiration to the group every day, like you've been doing on Facebook all those years. So this is what I was called here to do.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So I think probably rather than rambling on, I'll read the poem again, and then we'll catch up again tomorrow morning at 9.
Great, thanks, Andrew. Look forward to it.
Earthen pots.
Bye.
We have this treasure, this consciousness, this divine energy, the essence of God in these frail, feeble bodies. We have a capacity to love, a power our conditioning has veiled our eyes from, such potency to reveal through us and in us if we will only open our hearts. The unconditional part has always known it, has always felt it. You have great power if you will reveal your weakness, for when you are weak, then you are strong. The glory, your glory, is not in holding on, but in letting go, not in gathering, but sowing. The power Your power is revealed not through the ego, but when you allow the ego to be cracked, so the divine light can shine through. Be love, let go, be real, be broken. Let your treasure, your power, your love be fully displayed. Don't let this world be shielded from your true essence. Open your heart, burst forth, let the avalanche begin. Be the outpouring of love. Namaste.